All right, let's get right into it. We've all wondered what makes some people just so incredibly creative. Is there something physically different going on in their brains? Well, it turns out new research is giving us this amazing glimpse, not at some single creativity spot, but at the actual wiring of a highly original mind. I mean, think about it. Creativity is the engine behind pretty much everything. From the technology we use every day to the art and culture that defines us, our ability to think in new ways is what pushes us forward. It's absolutely fundamental. And that, right there, is the big mystery. For decades, scientists have been trying to map out the neuroscience of creativity. If you could scan the brain of a highly creative person, what would you actually see? What's going on in there? So, to start solving this puzzle, we have to look beyond just asking which parts of the brain light up. The real secret, the real clues, are hidden in how all those different parts are talking to each other. This is where this really cool idea called functional connectivity comes in. The best way to think about it is don't imagine a map of cities. Instead, imagine a map of all the flight paths between those cities. That's what this does. It shows us which brain regions are consistently working together, firing in sync, as these big coordinated networks. And when you're talking about creativity, there are three major networks that are the stars of the show. So, let's meet the team. First, you've got the default network. You can call this one the daydreamer. It's your brain's idea factory, the part that's humming along when your mind wanders and you're imagining new things. Next up is the salience network, or the spotlight. Its job is to notice interesting or important ideas and say, hey, look at this. And finally, there's the executive network, the CEO, which steps in to critically evaluate those ideas and keep you focused on getting something done. Now, what's really fascinating here is that two of these networks, the daydreaming default network and the focused CEO, the executive network, they usually work against each other. When one is on, the other is off. You know, it's kind of like trying to daydream and do your taxes at the exact same time. Your brain is typically wired to do one or the other, but not both. But, and this is where it gets really, really cool, when scientists looked inside the brains of highly creative people, they found something totally unexpected, a surprising alliance. What they saw was that in these highly creative brains, those three networks, the daydreamer, the spotlight, and the CEO, weren't working separately. No, they were all working together, forming this incredibly dense web of connections. They were all in sync. And the difference is just wow, it's striking. If you look on the left, in blue, you can see that dense web of connections in the high creativity network. Then look at the right, in red, which shows the pattern for lower creativity. It's not just a small tweak. We're talking about a fundamentally different pattern of brain wiring. So, this is the key. This is the whole thing. What really sets highly creative brains apart is this incredible ability to fire up networks that usually work in opposition to each other. They can have the idea-generating part and the idea-evaluating part online at the same time, letting them work together in this really powerful, fluid way. And get this. This discovery isn't just some cool observation after the fact. It turns out this unique brain signature can actually predict how original a person's ideas will be. Scientists found a real, statistically significant link between how strong this network is and how good someone is at coming up with original ideas. Now, this number might just look like a number, but what it shows is a clear and reliable connection. Basically, the more connected this creative network is, the more original a person's ideas tend to be. And they really put this model to the test. This wasn't some one-off finding. They validated it across 4 totally separate studies with different groups of people from different labs. It worked whether people were doing a creative task or just chilling out in the scanner. And what's really important, it specifically predicted creativity, not just general intelligence. This is a really robust and specific marker for creative ability. So, what does this all mean for how we understand creativity? Well, it signals a pretty major shift in how we should be thinking about it. It tells us that we should probably stop looking for that one magic creativity spot in the brain. This quote here really sums it up perfectly. Something as complex as creativity isn't happening in just one little area. It's something that emerges from complex communication across the entire brain. This completely reframes the question for us. It's no longer about where creativity is located. The real question is how the brain achieves it. And the answer seems to be through this dynamic, coordinated dance between these huge brain networks. So, the ultimate takeaway from this incredible research is that creative thinking isn't just a fleeting mood or a flash of insight.
It's the product of a distinct, stable, and uniquely interconnected brain, one that has figured out how to make its opposing forces join together in one powerful creative team.